What's going on, y'all? It's Jay Small Reviews here, back at it again with another video. Bringing you guys today predictions for the Trenches Nastylgia card. I believe it's supposed to sound like nostalgia. It's not spelled like it. No, but we all know the Philly versus New York card that Easy's throwing his second Trenches card. He's throwing the tryout cards, but this is his second like big time official card. Obviously, with the title or the attempt at the title, you see that there's going to be a lot of play on nostalgia here. There's going to be a lot of older names. Going to just be a quicker one because some of these battles either there's some detail or I don't want to get like too down on it on the matchup, but still giving my honest thoughts. So without further ado, let's get right into our predictions for the Trenches card. First battle to talk about is Gwitty versus Kaboom. Interesting one just in the sense that Kaboom is always, especially if nostalgia is going to be the big part of the card. We know how big Kaboom has been to Philly's history and really is like a solid battle rapper at that. You get these random showings like him versus Jackboy that are really good. Him versus Gwitty, not sure about, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to say that Kaboom's going to win. I'm going to go with Kaboom to win. Gwitty's just an unserious individual, you know what I'm saying? Very entertaining part of our culture, but as a battle rapper, it's not there. And I think Kaboom, at least on the rhyme pocket side, it being in Philly, you know what I'm saying, he can get at him a little bit, build up a little more momentum than Gwitty can, so I have him winning that battle. K Walker versus Show Off. Show Off just beat Head Ice in a nasty battle. And I would say that he's just going to beat K Walker in a pretty nasty battle as well. But K Walker was really good in his last time on the Trenches versus Riggs, man. I got to be honest with you. He was good in that battle. And then on the flip side, I would say, he's been good in a week's prep. Show Off with a bunch of different battles this month, but Show Off has been amazing with late prep. He did 2 battles in one day. He debatably won both of those battles. So I'm going to have Show Off winning here versus K Walker in the edge, but I could see the ceiling of this battle being bogged down a little by prep and maybe just like a limited potential, you know what I'm saying, of what they could reach. From there, you get into what's easily the best battle of the card. And I know Mike's calling it the main event, even though it's not really the main event on paper, but Rosenberg Raw versus Mike P is clearly the most competitive high-level battle here. You get Rose with his Trenches debut. Should have been his second battle in the Trenches. We know what happened with that the first time around. But Rose in this setting, you figure is going to be dangerous. And you get Mike P clearly making his move away from URL, putting a lot of pressure on himself with these first few performances. Obviously, everything goes smooth sailing once those couple of transition plates are done, right? Then you sign everywhere. You begin to get leverage. He's going to be on blackout, you know what I'm saying? So he's a lot of different good things going for him. But it's all got to start with some really good performances here and probably on blackout. It's tough because Mike is amazing. Pit setting, he was an amazing rapper, and then pit setting is going to personify that. Even though he does versus top talent, I feel like he can be a little hit or miss when it comes to win-loss, and I feel like Berg has made that jump into top-tier talent, in my personal opinion. I know he's borderline for a lot of people, but done a lot of good things, has some few signature wins to his belt as well. Signature good battles. And it's been a hard one for me to call. I think it's the most 50-50, the most high-level competitor that we talked about from a lyrical aspect. From what you know in modern battle rap, you take the nostalgia side. This is like that marquee matchup. And I am going to be going with Rosenberg 2-1. I believe that they're all judged, by the way, by fan vote. So we'll see exactly what that contains. But I am going with Rose 2-1. I just think that you add the home game setting. Although he's never been perfect in Philly, you get performances like Reed that aren't the best, right? Performances like versus Bill, but he's facing an outsider that's not from Philly. Obviously, he's facing Reed and Bill, both, even though Bill's from Norristown. But you guys know how it works. Obviously, Mike is like an outsider. It's New York versus Philly, so the energy's going to be on Berg's side. I think he's been rapping really good, and as good as Mike is, if Mike seizes the moment and is amazing and just clears Rosenberg, I wouldn't exactly be the most surprised. He has that capability, but going in, I got to give that edge to Rosenberg, being that it's a home game and just how much better he's been as of recent. And that leaves us with the last 2 battles of the night, which is Reed Dallas versus Un P. I got Reed 2-1, and both of these matchups are just getting a little bit into lunacy. I mean, you get the return to P, which is cool. You can go far back as him battling DNA, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like what, and then he battled, who was it on like the Cypher joint, or it was battled Clips, but I don't remember what platform he battled on. It was a little, whatever battle. But I got Reed even though Reed hasn't been locking down wins as of a lot lately, he's been solid, and he's been solid versus like actual real top tier professional comps. So I figure you come over here to Oompi and you get a fairly easy W. And then the main event, you get Hollow Man versus Head Ice. I have no idea what this is going to look like. Head Ice just battled a week ago, and he was confusing. So I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a little bit more in this card, some pride for the fact that it's New York versus Philly, especially for a guy like Ice. So I hope to get. This is more his setting. I think you get a better Ice than you got on the Blue Room. I do think, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good or a great Ice. You know what I mean? But I do think it is going to be a better Head Ice than you got in at RB's Max Out 3 event. And as for Hollow Man, how much more skeptical can you get, man? This is going to, what was his last battle? Ines? And we know how long ago that is. We're talking too raw for the streets. So, if I'm going to go in with a prediction, out of respect, I'm going to go Head Ice 2-1, just because he's the pro that's been holding it down and actually been active in the last 15 to 20 or so years, right? But it would be cool if Hollow Man comes in there and lights it up like it's the old days. I think it would create for crazy energy, but I can't predict on someone who just hasn't battled in that long. And for that, I do have Head Ice winning the battle, and if I am correct, I do have Philly winning overall 3-2, with Reed, Rosenberg, and Kaboom winning, and then Show Off and Head Ice holding it down for New York. But we'll see what happens when I actually do a recap for it. Similar to this, the recap will probably be as quick as the prediction, just because, one, it's a more condensed card, which I do think easy for. I can't lie. I'm tired of 10-plus battle cards. Maybe that'll be another topic for another day, but it's very it's very tiring back-to-back. But it's more condensed, and some of the matchups, aren't the craziest, high-level competitive matchups. But, that's kind of my full thoughts here on the Trenches card. Have another, I see there's a bunch of stuff going on right now in Battle Rap. I'm seeing Hitman and Lux are talking trash to each other. Even though I don't think that's the matchup that we should be shooting for, with Lux being outside. But we'll have a little bit of a video, a little more content coming out on that topic. And then if you guys would let me know, I know this isn't the craziest card in the world, but it's solid. I'd really like to know your guys' thoughts on Rosenberg versus Mike P. I think stock plays a factor here, right? I think Rose has been doing great. A lot of love for Rose on the media side and the battling side. But as for Mike, this is a little sink or swim, right? I mean, it's just the fact that breaking off of URL the way he did, which is no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? You take your career to your own hands. But then you put a lot of pressure, like I said, on those first one or two plates to transition over properly. And you start off with a clear loss here versus Rose. And we're joking on Mike again. I would not like to see that. I'd love for this to be, well, if it's a fire enough battle, win or lose, I don't really know what the difference will make. But can't afford to just come out here and get cleared, in my opinion. And that type of pressure makes for cool moments, makes for really high intensity matchups. So I would love to know who you guys have winning that matchup going into it. But it's been J Small Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch y'all shortly. Peace.